show you how to do Cemanti gel polish. We're going to use a lovely red colour, and this is called Advantage. So the same steps apply. You're going to thoroughly wash and dry your hands, remove your nail polish, and then you're going to spray the Chocolate sanitizer, which has a lovely fragrance. Make sure that you generously cover your hand and your nail plate. This is to remove any oils and bacteria that are sitting there, so we can have lovely clean nails. When it's dry, and only when it's dry, are we going to move to the next step. So it can take a few seconds for that to dry. We're then going to use our Cemanti buffing sponge all over the nail surface, and that's just to remove shine. So if you just, all you want to do is remove the shine. Now this should be a very clean buffing sponge. It should have had no oil or anything on it, so we need it to be coarse so that it removes all the shine from the nail. Very simple to use. You can't hurt yourself with this one. It's just a great little sponge. Very quick to use it. Now this needs to be a 100 grit buffing sponge. So there we go. Okay, so you can see that it's very quickly scratching the nail surface. Okay, so that's all done. Make sure if your nails go around the corners and down the sides that you generally pull the file down the sides, make sure that there's no shine. Now if there is shine left on the nail, you will find you'll get a bit of lifting, so be very thorough. You're then going to use your Cemanti file, and you're just going to use the edge of the file, and you're just going to go around and make sure that wherever this nail is growing out of the finger, that you use the edge of the file just to scratch that up and make sure that there's no shine. One of the things we have as a problem is shine is what causes lifting with this system, so always make sure that the natural nail, there's absolutely no shine. If you've got a lot of skin or cuticle coming down onto the nail plate, then that must be removed in order for the system to be successful. But I generally find this is more than enough and will solve all the problems. You're going to use a little plastic manicure brush, brushing away from the cuticle because we don't want to put the dust up behind the cuticle. And we can just wipe our little nails. This is the time now where if the shape's not perfect for your nails, you need to shape them. So just, and again, when you're filing natural nails, always file in one direction. I've got one that's a little shorter than the others, unfortunately. So I'm just going to take the other ones down that little smidge more so they all look like a family here. Okay, very simple. Okay. Again, just dusting to remove any excess dust. So the same steps apply. I'm going to use my Start, which is my base coat, and I'm going to put one coat of this on. And again, don't put it on thick, just do it very thin. And I find it really good to hold my, because I'm working on my other hand here, I find it really good to hold my hand with the brush on the table. So you can see the technique I'm using here. I'm holding my hand on the table so it's nice and steady. There's lots of ways you can do it, but ultimately all we want to do is make sure if you are a little shaky that you've got something to support against. Okay. This is a very, very lovely product. Now remember, don't put too much on, less is more. More product does not make better nails. In fact, it actually works against us. One of the things that's so good about the system is that it's very affordable, and you get about 20 to 25 sets out of your polish kit. So if you're putting on lots and lots of layers and lots of product, obviously you're going to get less sets, and you just honestly don't need to. It does not make them stronger. Okay, so just being mindful again that we do not want to touch the skin with the product. We want to make sure that there's a little tiny gap between where the gel polish starts and where your finger starts. Okay, so there we go. That's it there. Nice and shiny. I'm going to place that into the gel lamp for 30 seconds. Right, just turn that off when I put my next coat of colour on, so you can see it's still nice and shiny. Now I'm going to use red, and if you, when you open your polishes, just invert them, which means to tip them up and down, and that just mixes the colour. We do not shake gel polish because it puts little bubbles through our gel, and we end up with little pits Okay, so make sure you wipe the polish. I'm going to start usually around about here because it's a bigger finger, and go to the back. Now be sure when you do it to make sure you put even pressure down the front of the nail. If you don't put pressure on the front of the nail, when you go to wipe the gel off, the gel colour will not adhere to the clear. So you must use a little bit of pressure on the front of that nail, not too much sweeping, okay? I find it always very helpful to, again, when you're doing colour, do not put too much colour on at one time, otherwise the lamp can't get through a very thick lot of colour and you will have the polish not drying. So make sure you do 2 thinner coats rather than 1 thick coat. It will wear better and it will last for weeks and weeks and weeks. If you want to add more polish, no problem. Again, I'm very inclined to use less rather than too much. Being heavy-handed is not a good strategy when we're doing colour. Okay, and I just want you to see that I'm leaving my hand on the bench so that there's no shaking. If I was to lift my hand, I would be incredibly shaky and I would end up with nail polish everywhere. So you can actually see I'm quite shaky. You see me shaking? As soon as I put my hand on the table, it takes the shaking away. Okay, again, remember not too much. So I've done all of my nails and I'm going to place them into the gel lamp for 30 seconds. So we're going to do a second coat. So you can see the gel is not as shiny as when it went in, it's sort of gone dry, so you can see that that's ready for its next coat. So again, I'm just going to put another thin coat of polish on top. This time I don't have to be quite so fussy because I've done quite a lot of work the first time with my back seam. So just very quickly putting my second coat of polish on, place that back into the gel lamp for another 30 seconds, and when that's done we're going to use our top coat for 30 seconds and then we're all finished. And we're going to bring our hand out. We can see the same thing again. They're not as shiny as what they were before. That tells us that it's dry. We're now going to apply 1 coat of finished top coat. Same thing again, keep that hand steady. We do not want to get a beautiful job and get right to the finish line and then you flood your nails. So just a nice application. Keep that hand steady. Even though it's clear and it looks like it's not going anywhere, if you flood everything you'll ruin all the beautiful work. And at the end of the day, the difference between a salon quality manicure and one that somebody does at home is generally comes down to the flooding. So if you can work on just putting less on your brush than what you probably would like, it'll be perfect. When you're doing that thumb, just turn around, come away from you. Beautiful salon quality nails. And just cure them for 30 seconds. There we go. Beautiful red gel polish nails. Dry, absolutely dry. You can't knock these. They are fabulous. These little nails will last for 3 weeks easily. Some people have told us that they've lasted longer. My nails are a very, very soft nail, as you can see. Very soft. And even though they're a soft nail, the polish won't chip or crack. So to get started in doing your very own gel polish nails, simply fill in your name and your email and we'll rush you an exclusive offer so you can get one of these little gel polish kits and start doing your own nails at home.